Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that if you're returning. How are you today? Before we get started, if you haven't signed up for our newsletter yet, please do so. All the information you're going to need is in the description box below, okay? Along with my email address, Trish's email address, so you can get a hold of us at any time during the day or night, okay? Even if you just need to talk. So, grab your coffee, maybe some chocolate, put on your yoga pants, your fat pants, whatever you need in order to get comfortable around here. Okay, so this email was sent to me, and as soon as I saw it, I said, yep, got to get the word out. Okay, I have seen this go around here as well. Okay, for our schools too. Okay, because even though my son is no longer in school, he is a Marine. Please keep in mind that I do have nieces and nephews that are still in school. So I do know what is still going on with our school systems here, okay? So when a subscriber or any of you get a hold of me and say, Autumn, this is what's going on, can you please make our community aware? Absolutely, 100%. And no, I will never share your name, okay, or your your whereabouts, okay, unless I have your permission, okay, because your privacy is valued here in this community, okay. So it starts out like this. This was sent to us from our kids' school, and I felt it urgent to get it to you as it was scary. Please see the forwarded email below. If you share this on your channel, please don't mention our town's name, school, officer's name, superintendent, etc. Looks like this is countrywide. And yes, it is countrywide. It is 100%. In this day and age, we don't take these things lightly. I have not watched your channel yet today, so I don't know if you covered this. It says, good afternoon. This week, a TikTok trend. I hate TikTok. I really do. It's not even joke. I friggin' hate TikTok, okay? TikTok trend emerged regarding alleged threats to schools, including threats of shootings and bombings, specifically to occur on December 17th, 2021. Wonderful. My brother's birthday. Officer, okay, not saying the name, and the police department are aware of the TikTok posts around these threats against U.S. schools in regard to school shootings and bomb threats. In their findings, these posts are vague and not directed at any specific schools in this area. Many of these posts say schools around America or schools in the USA. If students or parents come across any post specific to this area or surrounding schools, please notify law enforcement immediately. As of Thursday morning, at least 3 schools in Minnesota have located similar threat reporting. However, local and state law enforcement have not identified the threat as credible at this time. At this time, they're reporting that the origins of this threat remain unknown, and there is no evidence to suggest that any mass casualty or severe violence incidents will occur on this date within this state or the U.S. more broadly. They are being monitored, this situation, and will provide additional updates if more information arises. There is no credible or confirmed threats for schools in our area, buildings, or programs associated with public schools. We just want to let people know we are aware of this situation. Yeah, I've heard about this with our with Hillsborough County Schools, Pasco County Schools, Pinellas County Schools, even where my sister lives. We're completely 100% aware. There's also another TikTok challenge going around that has been happening like daily basis type thing, especially here in Central Florida. And I don't know if any of you guys have been affected by this, but in this area we have been, where teenagers are going and kicking in front doors of residences. And I don't know if anyone has been arrested yet or whatever, but they're literally just going up and just kicking in front doors and running away. And it's like, really, any TikTok challenge, isn't that where the Tide Pod challenge came from? It's like, are you really seriously going to do any of these TikTok challenges? It's like, come on. Banish TikTok, will you please? Because it's getting out of control. It's out of hand, and it is unneeded. Maybe it's just because I'm old. I don't know. It's 45 old. I really don't think so. But I don't see the need for TikTok or any of it. I really don't. And it only causes trouble, in my opinion. It only causes trouble. I don't have a TikTok account. I don't want a TikTok account. To be honest, I think it's immature. Anyway, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think if you've heard of this. Okay, it's supposed to happen on the 17th, which is today. So if you guys have heard anything, let me know. So this was just sent in to me, okay, and it says, so when I moved up here in 2016, we had a full lineup of small carts on the left and a full lineup of large carts on the right. In the last 3 months, we had a small cart quantity in half, and the large cart section always seems to be low no matter how empty the store is. This is a Safeway, open 24 hours, and even late at night with only a few people there are hardly any carts. I went there today, and it's not busy. It was a normal day, average amount of shoppers. This picture shows what carts are available. As I walked around the store, I noticed there were maybe 100 people inside. Most didn't have small carts. Most people didn't have any carts, and nobody had a hand basket. This is the 5th trip I've made in the last 6 weeks, and they have not had any hand baskets available each time, nor have I seen any at the checkout counters piling up, nor in anyone's hands. On my way out, I counted all the small carts in the parking lot in random places and in the cart returns, and counted a total of 20 small carts. There should be at least 80 or so. I drove around the side of the building, and by the loading dock, there was a pile of carts stacked up with caution tape threaded through them. But not many, only about 30 carts. Maybe they were broken. I don't know. I didn't get a picture of that because I didn't want people in my small town to think I was creepy. Now we have 0 hand baskets, maybe 30 small carts max, and half the large carts we used to have. This is in Yelm. Am I saying that right? Y-E-L-M, Washington. Meat prices have not gone up here, but I have never seen any red meat go out at a discount, and now the shelves are lined with disgusting brown gray meat marked 20% off with a sell date of 2 days out, but the meat looks like it should have been tossed a couple of weeks ago. I'll try and get a picture next time. I was too dumbfounded and forgot to pull out my iPod to snap a picture. So here's a picture of what he was talking about with the carts. So they have the small carts and the large carts like we have here at Winn-Dixie. So here you go. Okay, so this is something that I want to talk about as well. And Trish had brought this up. Was it last Friday or the Friday before that? I can't remember. About the Apple AirTag. And it's like the size of a battery. Like the flat round batteries that you would put in your garage door openers. That size, okay? And what had happened was, okay, this man, he bought a new car, okay, a Dodge Charger. And it was, he said, it's a 392 Scat Pack 2018 Charger. And it goes fast. Dodge products like that are hot, making them targets. If they want it bad enough, they're going to take it. Last week, 2 days after Nelson, that's the guy's name that bought the car, bought that Charger, he cruised to Great Lakes Crossing Shopping Center in Auburn Hills. He shopped for 2 hours, then went to a buddy's house. When he got out, I had a notification on my phone, and it said I was being tracked by an unknown AirTag. An Apple AirTag is priced at $4 for $100 right now. You can stick them anywhere, attaching by Bluetooth to a phone to track whatever they're stuck on. They're coin-sized devices that can be attached to keys, backpacks, purses, and other items to help people track them down via iPhone if they're misplaced. He said, I was able to click on that notification and it gave me an option to have the AirTag emit a sound, and I heard it underneath my vehicle. Whoever did this unscrewed a drain cap under the trunk of John's car and slipped the tag inside. What do you think these guys were going to do? Scrap for parts? That's the biggest thing in Detroit right now. A local auto theft task force says they're seeing more of these in Metro Detroit. Thieves track the target vehicle and to pick the most opportune time to steal. Found mostly on Dodge products parked in mall parking lots. This bit of high-tech theft has also been reported in Austin, Texas, after an Apple AirTag was discovered between the passenger seat and the center console. In that incident, a man had allegedly purchased a vehicle that was previously stolen. No shite. According to law enforcement, he could have potentially been involved in a double theft of a truck. It's also been reported out of Canada's Ontario province, where 5 incidents have been investigated since September 2021. It's crazy. You can see a map with a dotted red line to wherever you have driven. Oh my God. Okay, so here's my question. Say if you're a mechanic. Okay, so Dave, I know you're, or you guys know him as Dirty White Boy. Here's my question for you. Is there a device where you can like run it like on a car to see if there's any of these Apple Air, what is it called? Apple AirTags on a car so you can get it and remove it? And is this something that you would be willing to look for on a car as a mechanic and say, did you know that this was on your car and that you're being tracked? And are you the one that put it on the car? Because I think that this is something that mechanics should be looking for and advising their customers that to say, hey, did you know about this? Just saying. Because especially for women, okay, if we're being tracked by God knows who or God knows what, you know, especially with all the trafficking that goes on in this country, you know, sorry, but I would want to know. So the link is in the description box below, guys. You know that, okay, so you can have your references, because that right there is scary as all hell. Okay? That someone can put a tracker on your car for $25 and know your every frickin' move. Just saying. I mean, oh, God, I don't even want to think about something like that. I really don't. I don't even want to think about something like that. I really don't. So, on to this, okay. Wow. Sometimes my mind just gets blown away with the things that I read. I really do. So, all right. So on to this now. Okay. So you remember the movie Terminator, or Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? Okay, the sci-fi movie series, okay, scientist Miles Dyson, Dyson, okay, is given an exotic microchip from the AI cyborg sent from the future, okay, and uses it to pursue radical new developments in microprocessors, okay. This research ultimately becomes Skynet. Remember the movie? Okay, Terminator, right? And, I'll be back. Shut up. So, the global AI supercomputer system that achieves self-awareness and decides to eliminate humanity by initiating nuclear war, right? So the storyline isn't far from reality, okay? And transistor technology was first studied and developed in the 1940s. And by studying there goes my terrestrial, forget it, craft crash hardware that was first acquired by the U.S. military in Roswell. Okay, remember that? Area 51, all that, right? In June of 1947. Okay, so this technology was quickly handed to powerful American corporations who soon announced the discovery of the transistor. And this topic was too detailed to explore here, but a good overview of the reverse engineering of non-terrestrial technology is found. Okay, and in December of 1997, Jack Schulman, and that's Schulman, was president and CEO of the American Computer Company in Cranford, New Jersey. Okay, would claim to have in their possession proof that technology recovered from the crash site of Roswell was reverse engineered and then patented as great American scientific breakthroughs in technology. And Schulman would particularly focus on the patenting of the transistor by the Bell Labs company, and asked a vaguely disguised question as what if they hadn't actually invented their technology but merely reverse engineered it. That is quite interesting, actually. So anyway, so according to these documents, the transistor developed at Bell Labs, most notably credited to Bardeen, Bratton, and Shockley, was in fact provided to the company. What's more, when some researchers have investigated this history of the transistor prior to Bell's groundbreaking technological marvel, there is no obvious developing point between all that came before Bell Lab version. So this is just something that, I wanted to touch on slightly, okay, because a lot of people say to me, this is coming, this is what I see, this is this, that. Okay, well, because everything is computer, between cars and this and that. Okay, well, everything is electronics nowadays, everything. And everything that we know of, even something as, waitresses, waiters, our jobs are being taken over by AI, okay? So I wanted to touch on this just a little tiny bit, but that's it, okay? So the link is going to be in the description box below if you want to finish reading that, okay? I didn't want to go too far into it. I really didn't. So, excuse me. So this, okay, was sent to me by a subscriber. On a granite-strewn plain, okay, surrounded by gnarled mountains, sits a giant steel box, which looks very interesting, by the way. Extremely interesting. It's not something that you see every single day. Incongruence in the landscape, much like Kubrick's Black Monolith of 2001, A Space Odyssey fame. Its alien presence suggests it was put there with intent. And if those that discover it can decipher the messages it contains, they could get a glimpse of what caused the fall of civilization that was there before. This is Earth's black box. Okay. So, oops, you've heard of the, what are they called? the Georgia Guidestones, okay? This is something that I would think is like similar, okay? So first and foremost, it's a tool, okay? And when an airplane crashes, it's left to investigators to sift through the wreckage, right? To recover the black box, okay? It's hoped that the recorded contents can be used to help others avoid the same fate, okay? And so it is with the Earth's black box, a 10 meter by 4 meter by 3 meter steel monolith that's intended to be built on a remote outcrop of Tasmania's west coast. Okay. Chosen for its geopolitical and geological stability, ahead of other candidates like Malta, Norway, and Qatar, the idea is that the Tasmanian site can cradle the black box for the benefit of a future civilization, should catastrophic climate change cause the downfall of ours. If that sounds unhinged, it's worth remembering that we're currently on track for as much as 2.7 C of warming this century. Now, this article was actually sent to me by someone who lives in Tasmania. So I just want you to keep that in mind, okay? So ask any climate scientist that happens when warming breaches 2C, and they'll almost invariably tell you it's not worth thinking about. Plenty of past civilizations and empires have collapsed in the face of less. So what is this black box? Artistic installation? Academic experiment? Or something else? The project is completely non-commercial, and the guiding design principle is functionality, according to Jim Curtis of Clemenger BBDO. Obviously, it's really a powerful concept when you say to someone, Earth's got a black box. Because they're like, why does it need a black box? Who's collaborating on the project with University of Tasmania researchers, among others? But first and foremost, it's a tool. This box is planned to be made from 7.5 centimeter thick steel, cantilevered off of granite, according to Jonathan Kneebone, co-founder of artistic collective The Glue Society, which is also involved. It's built to outlive us all. Wow! The box will be filled with a mass of storage drives and have internet connectivity, all powered by solar panels on the structure's roof. Whoa, batteries will provide backup power storage. When the sun is shining, the black box will be downloading scientific data, and an algorithm will be gleaning climate change related material from the internet. Broadly, it will be collecting two types of data. It will collect measurements of land and sea temperatures, ocean acidification, atmospheric CO2, species extinction, land use changes, as well as things like human population, military spending, and energy consumption. And it will collect contextual data, such as newspaper headlines, social media posts, and news from key events like Conference of the Parties, COP, climate change meetings. The idea is if the Earth does crash as a result of climate change, this indestructible recording device will be there for who's ever left to learn from that. It's also there to hold leaders to account to make sure their action or inaction is recorded. Ooh. The black box will record backwards as well as forwards in time to document how we got to where we are, pulling any available historic climate change data off the internet. And although construction of the housing structure itself is anticipated to begin mid-next year, the hard drives have already begun recording, beginning with the COP26 climate conference in Glasgow in November of this year. Oh boy. Using compression and archiving the developer's estimate, where there will be enough capacity to store data for the next 30 to 50 years. In the meantime, they're investigating ways to expand that capacity and more long-term storage methods, including inscribing to steel plates. This will enable us to be far more efficient with how much each tier of storage is used and make it possible to store data for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. Oh my. All right, kids, that's all for this video. I love you. All right, I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fear less. Ciao.